leaving already? Hey! Barbie! Aren't you forgetting something? Like a whole bunch of stuff you were supposed to give me? Nonsense. Your arrival is more or less in line with Barbie's prophecy. Though, to be honest, I did think you'd be here a little later. Anyway, before we get down to business, it might be best if you two have something to eat? No, of course not. But my hearing happens to be quite sharp, and I heard Paimon's stomach rumbling a mile away.
Whoa! Paimon's stomach is rumbling for two! We must both be super famished.
Don't you worry about that. I've got plenty of cookies and cake, and as you know, nothing bad ever happened to hungry travelers who accepted food from a witch.
Oh, Paimon's so full! No matter how much she puts in her tummy, there's always more on her plate.
Is she the champion eater from Natlan's Collective of Plenty? Alice mentioned her to me once. Apparently, she's a fascinating young lady. I imagine if she were to attend one of our parties, we'd need to set out 3, maybe even 7 plates.
Paimon really can't eat anymore. She's coming apart at the seams. Can we get down to business now? Oh, sorry.
All right. I gather you're here to deliver my homework. The one that Barbie prophesized? Nothing of the sort. We were discussing something completely different. The moon's massive shift has knocked her hydromancy out of whack, so she needs to head back for a while to undergo a period of silent meditation. While she's away, I'll be taking over responsibility for everyone's homework. I also plan to help her add the next round of homework to the dictionary.
Huh. You can just swap the person in charge like that?
Not like I had much choice. Before Barbie and Alice even told me about it, they'd already inscribed my special homework in the dictionary. As much as I'd like to erase the whole thing and keep on casually observing the world, Alice is busy maintaining Tevad's borders, and Barbie is off realigning her hydromancy. Octavia didn't bother to come back, and you can forget about Rhindaughter. The other mages all have their own affairs to attend to, so the duty of supervising this homework has fallen to me. There really are. I don't even know how long it's been since we all got together to make this a proper tea party. In any case, as long as I finish my homework, my story will be officially inscribed in the dictionary. After that, I'll be able to go back to observing and guiding. So, traveler, Paimon, it's time to deliver your message. What's my homework? Oh, and since this doesn't count as a prophecy, just something Barbie and Alice came up with 10 minutes ago, there probably isn't any useful information to be found in that dictionary you're carrying.
You're right, Nicole. We had a look before coming over, and there aren't any detailed instructions at all. There's only these 2 sentences.
All right, that first sentence was clearly written by Barbie, but I bet my bottom more it was Alice who added the second. Anyway, let's get cracking on this homework. Just let me think. Where should we begin? Huh? Oh, Barbie gave me a rundown of my tasks just now. Basically, I just need to go to a few homework locations, make sure everything's up to scratch, and conduct some field work.
Wait a minute. Paimon thought she was giving you a prophecy. How does a rundown count as a prophecy?
Well, You see, I naturally view anything Barbie says to me as some sort of prophecy. Besides, when Barbie wrote this homework of mine, all she actually did was flip straight to the final page of my story and tell me the ending in advance. You make a fair point. But then, what's the difference between a prophecy and a spoiler anyway? All right, enough dawdling. Come on, follow me. We're going to... Yes, that seems like as good a place as any.
Just like that? Hold on. How are we supposed to get the...
All right, we're here. This Sealy Court has some really great views, don't you think? See that spot over there? That's the starting point. Did I use it to get us here faster? You bet I did! These Sealy Courts are connected to the ley lines, and nobody really uses them. They're very handy when it comes to traveling about. Besides, the Sealy and I used to be angels, so we're old colleagues. I'm sure they won't mind me borrowing their homes every once in a while. Yes, I read about that in the dictionary. Based on how it ended, you and Lord Barbados must have played quite a beautiful tune. Such a shame that Barbie couldn't hear a single note. When Alice heard about it, she laughed so hard her hat nearly fell off. How about we head to the next location, which should be...
Is this Wolvendam? Doesn't seem like the best place for doing homework.
This is the nearest Sealy Court to where we're going. Don't worry, we're not far from the starting point.
Whoa! Where did all those wolves jump out from? Hey! We're not here to hurt you! We're friends with Razor!
Shh! Has that child not arrived yet? Perhaps we've come too early again. Not to worry. As long as he stands beside his Lubical, he can overcome any foe.
Why'd they come back? Oh, did they hear us talking? If only Razor were here, he'd be able to tell us what they want to say.
You're not wrong, Paimon, but there's a lot more he'd need to understand than just the chatter of wolves. All right, that's about it for this place. I could do with a good rest. Come on, let's go. Time to head back for a cup of...
Whoa! When did this door appear?
This looks like Alice's handwriting. Let's take a look. Thanks for your help with the homework. Now hurry home and have a hot cup of tea. P.S. There is a surprise waiting behind this door. Hurry home? Wait a second. Why does this door look so familiar? There's no way it could lead to...
Somewhere new? Hey, isn't this...
No wonder Alice wanted to borrow the lodge key. She said she wanted to set up a tea room, even though I told her I already had one. It symbolizes the completion of guidance, the end of a journey, and the fulfillment of prophecy. You've followed Seelie before, right? Only when a Seelie returns to its Seelie court does its guidance come to an end. So, to give this unwelcome homework a clear conclusion, Barbie and Alice must have built a Seelie court right here. This is the only way for my story to be inscribed among everyone else's without interfering with their own homework. Well, we're not all that different. Once upon a time, we were all angels after all. But that doesn't really matter. What's important is what it symbolizes. It's like writing a novel. As long as the main outline is there, there'll always be a way to flesh out the details so the pieces fall into place. As long as I take my seat, this homework of mine will be officially over. It's a nice touch, but it feels like the ending to a story written on the fly. If Anya were here, I'm sure she'd have come up with something more clever. Don't you worry, that's an essential element as well.
Hey! A treasure chest!
Now this homework's starting to make sense.
What did I tell you? It seems like this has been a fruitful little excursion after all. And it seems my story has been formally inscribed in the dictionary, which means that today's homework ends here, and also that there'll be a formal tutor to provide guidance on all future assignments. Well, That depends on what assignments are assigned. Personally, I'd love nothing more than to bury chests for people to find by completing their homework. I'd leave clues and watch them enjoy a merry little treasure hunt. Now that would be fun. But Barbie's been keeping a close eye on me, so I'm not sure I'll get the chance. Which means that today's homework ends here, and also that there'll be a formal tutor to provide guidance on all future assignments.
on me! Yeah.
Oh, you're here! I was just starting to wonder if I should send you clearer instructions. But then I thought, if I make my hints too obvious, it might get in the way of your travel plans. And then, just as I was pacing back and forth, agonizing over what I was going to do, you turned up here anyway. So, it looks like everything worked out fine.
Hey, Nicole! You're so full of energy today! And words! You're so full of words!
I'll take that as a compliment. All right then, are you ready to check out my next room?
Is this Nicole's studio? Why is it just a bunch of empty frames on white walls? Let's take a closer look. What the? Paimon almost had a heart attack being sucked in by a painting like that. Wait a sec. This place looks familiar. Oh, it's the table where the mages hold their tea parties.
It all started the first time Alice invited me for tea. On that day, I didn't attend in person, mostly because back then, I still hadn't decided whether I really wanted to join the Hexen Circle or not. Alice was the only one there who knew my true identity. She warned me not to say a word or let anyone else discover who I was. I was only supposed to observe.
And then what happened?
Well, then I concluded that she was punishing me for my hesitation to join. Everyone was talking about such interesting things. How could I not chime in? And of course, when you're in the middle of a conversation and someone throws out a question you know the answer to, how are you supposed to keep your mouth shut? Which brings us to the bet between Barbeloth and Alice, Rhindaughter's forbidden creations, Ivanovna's political machinations. It was like a series of exquisitely acted plays, distilled within the confines of a teacup. Their words alone were enough to ignite my instinct to lay the truth bare before them.
So, you piped up inside their heads?
Of course not. Even though I felt like my head was going to explode, I still made sure to hold it all in. I'm a responsible angel after all, and I'm well aware of the difference between what I want to say and what I'm allowed to say. So, I had a private little word with Alice inside her head, just me and her, and I agreed to join the Hexenzirkel, right there and then. She was quite happy about my decision, but as for the talking inside her head, well, she claims that over the next few days, she had such a headache that she had to visit a doctor in Liyue to get some relief. But she can hardly blame me for that.
How about we go look at the other frames? Paimon's starting to feel like she needs some relief too. Is that an Irminsul tree?
Oh, this painting here? You're clearly no strangers to the white trees. But did you know that the first angel's betrayal happened beneath one of their very boughs?
Huh. Paimon's curious now.
Well then, I guess it's finally time for me to tell you a tale of romance and horror. Let me just think how best to protect the identity of those involved. All right, got it. A long, long time ago, there was once a traveler who wandered among the stars. They were nothing like you, but that's not important right now. One day, he traveled to a silver tree to visit the princess of the morning star. Before long, he started asking her about her kingdom's most forbidden secrets. His words puzzled the princess. How could he possibly know of all these things forbidden by the gods? The young man revealed his origins and showed the princess things she had never seen before: a free will and love, both noble and spiritual. His words awakened her sense of self, hitherto shackled by the gods. Her heart soared, carrying her beyond limits she had never crossed before. The princess of the morning star confided the kingdom's secrets to the youth, and between them, love grew and blossomed, along with a determination to defy the gods.
This is just a cookie-cutter love story. You said there'd be horror.
Don't worry, Paimon. The horror's about to begin. They yearned to help the people live lives of unfettered freedom, but the gods could not forgive their betrayal. They sent down thunder and fury, destroying the lovers' home. And when the Great War subsided, the power and the wisdom of the princess were lost, never to return. Even her closest friends were cursed.
Yeah. That ending was pretty scary after all. But didn't you say you were going to tell us about the first angel? And you're not saying this story's actually true, are you?
It sure is. And that's the scariest part.
Why are there light novels from Yai Publishing House all over the floor?
Well, on the subject of my literary enlightenment, my greatest inspiration of all is none other than Lady Anya herself. She was the last to join the Hexenzirkel, and yet the first to leave. I loved all of her stories, whether it was just an idea or a fully fleshed out manuscript. Anya was always so skilled at making her readers gasp with joy. Hexenzirkel discussions rarely stray far from magic, and it's my belief that Anya possessed a unique magic of her own. She could weave love and compassion into words and stories that would touch the hearts of others. I asked her for tips on how to write compelling tales. She taught me a lot of tricks and techniques. But in the end, my biggest enemy has always been myself. That's one way of putting it. Communicating through thought is so much more convenient. I guess even angels can succumb to laziness. However, recently I've resolved to make an effort, even if it's just to spare myself reproaches from a certain old silly friend of mine.
Oh! Does that mean we're finally gonna get to read something you've written?
Who said anything about writing? I'm talking about buying popular works from the last few centuries to flip through in my spare time. These paintings all remind me of places that hold great significance in my heart. And now, the studio has been fully restored. All right, go ahead and claim our reward. What? Don't look at me like that. Of course this reward is ours. You're not going to leave this chest unopened, are you? I can't let you leave if you do. Besides, after telling you so many stories, don't I deserve a reward of my own? You still haven't taken everything. A happy story all wrapped up. See you next time. Come to think of it, this Mage's Lodge holds a special significance for me, too. A painting within a house within a painting, worlds within worlds. Fascinating, isn't it?
On me.
Columbina? Are you okay? You look a bit out of sorts.
Oh, it's you two. I'm all right.
It's okay. Just tell us. Even if it's something small, you'll feel much better once it's off your chest.
I would like to try a drink from the tavern.
What? Sorry. Paimon was just a little surprised. You never talk about wanting things for yourself, so... And that's it? Just... a drink? Yeah, kinda. At least something a bit more monumental. Like, bring me the moon. But, on second thought, it does kinda make sense. Palomina can't go wherever she wants right now, so a trip to the tavern might as well be a trip to the moon.
It's not just how things are now. Even back when I was with the Fatui, when there was no order to capture me, everyone still kept their distance whenever I went out for a walk.
Wait a sec. Come to think of it, maybe this isn't as hard as Paimon first thought. A tavern is kind of out of the question, but a drink? Now that we can do. The Travelers got this.
Really?
But don't set your expectations too high.
Flavor. I don't have much experience ordering drinks, so I'm not sure where to start. Perhaps something that isn't too heavy?
What do you mean by heavy?
Heavy like a Fatui overcoat.
That comparison makes it even more confusing.
Okay. Whatever you think.
Wow, even Paimon wants to try a glass of that.
I've smelled something like this before.
Oh, really? Where?
In Sandrone's room. She had a drink that smelled like this. The aroma caught my interest, and when she noticed, she just held on to the drink for ages without finishing it. It was like she was waiting for me to ask about it. Yes.
What did you ask?
Shouldn't you be drinking engine oil instead? Oh. She said something quite unpleasant. It doesn't bear repeating.
You lost interest after a single sip?
Sorry, it was a little bitter. All in all, not very good. No wonder Sandrone looked so sour when she drank it.
Paimon thinks there might have been other reasons for that.
Well, thank you for satisfying my curiosity. I'll be sure not to trust Sandrone's taste ever again.